right, everyone. So as you can see, I have a very amazing guest in front of me right now, and I'm just going to let her introduce herself. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Amalara.
Okay.
I'm a third semester at American University of the Caribbean.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about your school, and then, just try to answer me the best way you possibly can. Okay. So the first one is just tell us a little bit more about your school. So you already mentioned that. So just give us a little bit more detail about your school. So stuff like the name of the school, what island the school is on, stuff like that.
Okay, so American University of the Caribbean School of Medicine. It's in St. Martin. St. Martin is one of those, I don't know if people know, but St. Martin is like two countries. Okay. So AUC is on one side, which is the Dutch side. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a good area. Obviously it's an island, so lots of beaches around, tourism, all that type of stuff. But and it's nice and safe, security everywhere too. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. We'll talk about security later on down the line.
Okay.
So why did you decide to go to AUC? What about AUC drew you in? And I'm sure, did you hear about other medical schools when you were looking out for where to go?
Yeah, so it's all right. So I applied for medical school, only US schools at first, and then it just was not looking good for me. So then later on, I decided, I knew I didn't want to wait another cycle to start. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I need to cast my net wider. So I decided to apply to two Caribbean schools, AUC and another one. And I actually know somebody, like an older sister type of person to me. She actually went to AUC. I think she graduated in like 2015, somewhere around there. So she was there a while ago. So she also was like, yeah, apply there. It's a good school, all that type of stuff. So I got into the two Caribbean schools that I applied for, but based on one, AUC gave me a scholarship. So that was nice. And then two, and honestly, most importantly, I just got a better vibe from the person that was interviewing me for AUC than the other one. For the other school, he just seemed really uninterested, and like, I almost felt like a bother to him. So honestly, I took that as a representation of what that school was. Wow. And for AUC, the person that interviewed me, he was very friendly. He wanted to know about me. He was asking me, just calm, not too interviewee type questions. He just wanted to know more about me and all that type of stuff. So I felt like, if I went to AUC, I would have kind of that more community, open door type of relationship with staff and professors and all that stuff. So that's why I chose to go to AUC.
All right, so what are some of the entry requirements? So if there's someone watching this video and they want to go to AUC, what kind of requirements can they expect to have?
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything outside of the regular, like with classes, the basic science classes, the MCAT. Do they even have a minimum? Honestly, I should figure that out if they have a minimum. But I got 497 on my MCAT, and I was good. So other than that requirements, they had letters of recommendation. So I think like one or two. So again, the application, I did my AUC application in one day. Like that morning I decided, you know what, I should apply. And then by the nighttime, I already applied. So if you have applied already to any other school, you won't need anything extra to apply for AUC. So yeah, that was the application process.
Right. And I guess they can just check the website for more detailed requirements. All right, cool. All right, so tuition fees. What are tuition fees for AUC? basic sciences per semester, if you can recollect?
Yeah, so I was actually just looking at my financial aid yesterday. So it was like 23,000 per semester. That doesn't include like, all those, random fees that adds up to about like 24 and some change per semester. And that also does not include, well, for me, with that, I get a refund. For my financial aid, I do get a refund that does cover some of my housing. And that also depends. I don't know if we're going to get to housing.
We are going to get to housing, yes.
Okay, so I'll save that for that.
Yeah.
But yes, it does cover some of that, but also, supplemental money, family.
So pretty much 23, 24 is what people should be expecting to pay per semester without housing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so let's talk more about the some academics in a way. So what's the curriculum like? So speak to us in terms of, I know some schools, they have like a discipline-based curriculum. Yeah. Some schools, they have organ system-based curriculum. So what is the curriculum like?
Yes. So
the semesters as well. So how many semesters for basic sciences as well?
Yeah. So there's 5 semesters for basic sciences. My class actually was the first one to have this new curriculum, which is the system-based, or I guess like.
Well, you guys have system-based now.
Yeah, we're now they're transitioning to that. So my class is the guinea pig for that, but it's okay. So basically the first semester we had something called molecules to medicine. So it was kind of like introductory to a lot of different stuff, and then a lot of biochem, like the glycolysis and all those fun type of stuff. And then so this second semester we had the first block was hematology and oncology, and then the second block was musculoskeletal and dermatology. And then the third semester we're going to have cardiovascular, and then the second block respiratory and renal. And then I don't know about the fourth and fifth. Actually, fifth I know is like behavioral, because that's like step studying mostly. So it's a lighter curriculum. But yeah, that's how the curriculum has been going. I know the legacy before my semester, they had the legacy curriculum, which I guess is not really relevant to anyone now because they're going away with that curriculum. So this curriculum, they're definitely getting kinks out. Like I said, we're the first semester, so they improve as the semester goes.
I feel like in the pilot phase type thing right now.
Yeah. So like the semester after me, I've talked to some people and they've like said, it's a lot smoother than the experiences like my classes had. So I mean, that's good for them. So yeah, that's about it. The curriculum is from what I've heard, this kind of curriculum is good as it pertains to, studying for STEP or just having a more comprehensive way of thinking about, all the materials. So I don't mind the curriculum.
Okay.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. So what's your class size like? And I know that probably varies based on semester of entry. So yeah, it's about class size generally at AUC.
Yeah. So like you said, it does vary depending on when people enter. My personal class was just a big class in general, even for a fall semester. We had 250 almost, and that's huge. That's huge, and that's not like a normal thing. So I think about like from like 180 to 200 maybe as entering. That's a normal class size for most semesters.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So what's housing on the island like? So first of all, what students would love to know. So when someone is coming in for the first semester, number one, are they required to stay on campus? If you guys have an on-campus housing, if not, what kind of other options do they have, and what's the pricing like? Do you have to share a room? Can you live alone? So just give us some insight into all of that.
Okay, so for housing, they have an on-campus like housing dorm. It's only available primarily for your first semester. You can apply or like request that you have it for another semester after that, but after that one, you most likely are not going to have it again. And also that does not fit everyone in your semester, if that makes sense. Like if my whole class decided we all want on-campus housing, we can't all get it. So I decided to not do on-campus housing because I didn't want to deal with the moving after a semester. So I just got off-campus housing, and there's a lot of off-campus housing because I say it like this because I see the campus from my window. Like it's a lot of buildings around, and most of them are students that live in those buildings. There's also other people that live there, but the landlords are very familiar with students coming in and out. And so there's a lot of options. The one I live in, it's called the Mirage. No one could try to come looking for me, but it's called the Mirage. And I pay $1,200 for mine, and that includes internet and washer and dryer, and it has a generator there. So honestly, the washer and dryer and the generator is the reason I picked that building. A lot of other places, they don't include internet. Most other places, I don't think any other place includes internet. So you have to like kind of go out and find internet. And then washer and dryer, the main place that a lot of students live in doesn't include washer and dryer. So I knew I didn't want to deal with that. So you kind of pay for what you want, the luxuries that you want. A lot of people, they're paying $800 a month. I just know what I wanted. So, you can get whatever you're looking for, you can pretty much get as it pertains to housing.
Yeah. So these off-campus housing, how do students go about seeking them? Is there like a Facebook group or something? Does the school help you guys out with that? How will a student go about looking at these options for off-campus housing?
Yeah, so I actually found through the person that interviewed me for AUC, he was very helpful with finding things. If I had any questions, and he's very responsive too. If I had any questions, if I emailed him the same day, he'd email me back. So I asked him about the housing, and he pointed me to the Facebook page. I think there was like 2 Facebook pages that people post, housing and stuff like that. And then from there, there's also like group chats. So I guess if you accept the offer and things, and then you find, like group me's and WhatsApp group chats, people also post those there.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so now safety of the island. What's that like? Is the island considered pretty safe or not?
So there's there's area, like I said, it's a Dutch side and a French side.
Okay.
Generally, and this is what when we had orientation, they had like a police officer come and just give us the rundown of everything. And this is what he said. So, nobody from St. Martin come for me, but he said, the French side generally is a little more rough. There's a lot more rougher sides than the Dutch side. And where AUC is, it's not residential really, other than the apartments there. So, but there is a beach that's really touristy, and there's a nearby resort that's, really touristy.
Yeah.
So it's generally safe when it comes to, kind of neighborhood crimes kind of a thing. But there has been a few incidents of people coming in and out, doing things. So security, they have a lot of security. Even AUC security like drives around even outside of the AUC campus. They drive around the apartments. And then also the St. Martin police also drive around, they're in front of the grocery stores, have a security with their little dog. Not little, it's a big dog, but they have stations and things. And then also AUC has if you need to go anywhere close, like if you need to go to like the clinic or anywhere in the close by area, you can call them and they can pick you up at whatever time.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's very helpful. If you don't have a car, especially, that's helpful.
I see.
And so yeah, I don't really ever feel unsafe, because most times if I look to my left or right, a security will be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and also the people are are really friendly around too, so don't really feel unsettled.
All right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what was feeding like on the island and the campus, right? So does your campus have a cafeteria where students can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And also the island too, what kind of options are available for grocery and also just food in general?
Yeah, so the campus does have a cafeteria. It opens at I think like a 10. So they do have breakfast for a short time, and then I think they close. You can place your last order at like 5:30. So they're open for most of the day that you probably will be on campus. And their food actually is quite good. Like they have some of my favorite, like their cheesesteaks are good and the pizza is good. So if you go there, check those out. So outside of that, there's a lot of, especially around the AUC campus, there's a lot of little, I don't want to say mom and pop shops, but there's like places you can get pizza, Thai food, Japanese food, French food. There's a lot of little shops like that. So you can always eat. And there's also a grocery store, right? Walking distance, like a minute or two from the thing. So you don't have to travel to eat. If you want to eat, I don't want to say good food. I don't want to talk bad about the food. As a Nigerian, I'm used to flavor. And, I just found that a lot of places don't have that. So I do have to travel a little distance to go get that. But if you're cool with, making your own food or, just adding stuff to the food that you get from next door, that's fine too. You can find that there too. So,
all right, so
you can find what you want.
Have similar taste buds as yours. What kind of places can they check out that farther up?
Oh, okay. So there's a place called Pollo Hermanos.
Okay.
It's like a chicken. I would say it's a chicken spot, but their menu is huge and they just have a lot of things. And it's just really good. And what else? What was that place called? Roxy. There's a place called Roxy. And for anyone who knows, both of those are in Simpson Bay, the Simpson Bay area. So you can look at those. But then also there's a place by AUC. I won't talk bad about all of them. I won't talk bad about any of them, but there's one that's especially, I would crave. It's called Barcode, and they have really good burgers, and their Generous So's chicken is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, good. That's quite comprehensive, overview of the thing.
I like food a lot, so I've had to, make do and figure out things.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get back to the academics a bit.
Okay.
So here we're going to be talking about how well would you say the school prepares their students to take the USMLE Step 1 exam?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's been more of a professor to professor thing in preparing us for STEP. Yeah. I think some professors emphasize like this will be on STEP more than others. Some professors I've had haven't said anything about STEP. Yeah. So, for those specific like subjects, I kind of have to, do the research myself, I guess.
Okay.
So I think it's not really, I don't think it's consistent across
professors,
subjects and stuff and professors. So yeah, that's what I found. But also I ask a lot of questions to professors and to people who in upper semesters and stuff. So that also helps. Okay.
All right. So on the school level, is there any policies the school implements for you guys? For example, when we get to our third semester, they now give us like a Kaplan subscription or something like that. They give us like osmosis. So Does your school have any sort of additions like that for you guys to help you guys, I guess, feel well prepared when the time comes?
So I know for the first semester, they gave us osmosis, and I love osmosis, so that was helpful. Yeah. And then this semester, they gave us this past one for musculoskeletal, they gave us complete anatomy.
Okay.
Do you know about complete anatomy?
No, actually I don't.
It's really good. It's it's for anatomy. Anyway. And I'm not sure what happens after that, as it pertains to, you know, subscription type of aid that they give. But honestly, I wouldn't doubt that they give us something, because of the fact they've given it to us for every semester so far. So yeah.
All right, cool. That's fair enough. So now coming to the exam. So let's talk about how students are evaluated. I think that's the main thing on people's minds. Okay, how are they going to test us? How many tests do they have? Are there presentations? What is the passing mark? You know, so just talk to us about how students are evaluated and what the exams like. Do you think they are fair? Do you think they are too hard? Unnecessarily using the tests minutiae? What do you think about how students are evaluated at AUC?
Yeah, so like I said, our class is the first semester to have this curriculum. So they have made changes even within the semester of what exams look like. Okay. So honestly, they might have it more structured for like the class behind us, but they're still kind of moving things around as we come along, honestly. But for example, this block that we had 4 exams and then 1 final that was an NBME final. And I thought they were fair, other than the final, because there were some things on there that I'd never seen before, but it was an NBME one. So
and that's the external exam, right? That's not the ones that your profs set for you guys.
Yeah, so they don't write the questions, but they chose which questions would be on the exam from like whatever question bank they have. Yeah. But so yeah, I will say it's nice for I guess the school, they allow us to, I guess, contest questions or something. So right after the exam, I think we take our exams at 8 a.m. By I think like 5 p.m. that day, we have till then to contest questions. Yeah. So a lot of times, if we contest the questions and if a large number of students contest the question, they'll go back and review it, see if it's fair, and then they'll give us the point back. The first semester, we had a lot of that because, like I said, it was a lot of trial and error. There was not as many this past semester, but there was still some of those. So if you are able to, you know, convince them enough that you had the right mindset going into the question and it was worded wrong, or, you know, whatever the case may be, you can get a question back or something. So that's that.
Okay, so like how many exams do you guys have per course, right?
Yeah, so this one we had 5. The first block, which was the hematology, we had 2.
Okay.
We had 2 exams. And then our first semester, we had 4 exams.
Okay.
So yeah, not consistent. But I think they're getting, because they had 2 exams for this musculoskeletal ones, but a lot of students complained from the first block that we only have 2 exams. Like that's 40% for each. That's a lot. Like, can we get a little bit more? So that's how they added 2 more exams for the musculoskeletal. So yeah, they probably will keep that maybe for the next semester. I guess we'll see. Yeah. But that's how it's been so far.
So let me just make sure I understand. So so before the final exam, you guys have like some number of exams, which is still an ongoing process, right? Mm-hmm. But after all of that is done, when the final comes, the final is an NBME, or is there an in-house final that's set by your professors, or is just exclusively that NBME that serves as your final exam?
Yeah, so again, things have changed, because like the first semester, our final was ones that the professors wrote. It was not MDME.
Okay.
This one that we just took, this was the first NBME final that we took.
Okay.
Even the first block of this semester, we didn't have a final at all. We just had those 2 exams. So it's been very inconsistent between, blocks and semesters. So with each block, there's a director for each block that, puts the block together. So I think it is to their determination with the overall academic director to determine what the exams are going to look like. So yeah, I think they determine that. That's why, the first block with hematology, we had 2 exams.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just really depends. I feel like it's going to be more consistent as the following semesters come along because this is a new curriculum.
Yeah.
And they're just trying things out. And a lot of these professors also, it's new for them. They haven't taught this kind of way as well. So everybody's really trying to figure it out right now.
What happens if, for example, someone doesn't necessarily pass an exam or a semester or something? So what's the pass mark for passing? And if, for example, someone doesn't meet that pass mark, what kind of options do they have after moving forward?
Yeah. So it's with the passing, it has to do with the end of the semester. So it's not per exam.
Okay.
So at the end of the semester, to pass, it's a 69.5. Okay. So if you don't have that by the end of the semester, there's the first option is something called REM comp. Okay. And so it's right after the final, maybe 2 days after the final, they're allowed to take the final again.
Oh.
And then, yeah, but I think different questions. Yeah, I guess just another exam.
Yeah.
To replace that and to see if they can get there. If not, then they have to take it again. So, for example, that changes also, I guess, when it comes to different blocks. So if someone doesn't pass the first block of a semester, they're not allowed to move on to the second block.
Okay.
And so they have some I don't know what it's called, but it's I guess similar to a prep course kind of a thing that they take for that second semester. And so they have to do both of those blocks over again. So pretty much repeat the semester if they don't pass the REM comp. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So let me just make sure I understand. So if, for example, you don't meet 69.5, that's a pass mark. Mm-hmm. You only required to meet that pass mark at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
And if you don't meet that, then you have the option to retake a final exam, right? And if you take that final exam and you pass that, you're good. You move on to the next semester. Mm-hmm. But if you take this remediation exam and you do not pass that, you have to repeat the semester. Mm-hmm. So is it like the whole semester you're repeating, or just specific?
Yeah. So I know for if it's semesters are split into 2 blocks. That's everywhere, right? Yeah, I believe.
My school, we have 5 blocks.
Oh, okay. So with our school, our semesters after the first one, that is, the first one is its own thing, but the second, third, fourth, and fifth is split into blocks. So 1 block and 2 blocks. So it's 16 weeks. So first block is 8 weeks. Second block is 8 weeks. And it's just basically 2 subjects, 2 things. So if you don't pass the first block, you can't move on to the second block. And so you just repeat everything the next semester. Yeah. If you pass the first one and you don't pass the second one, you can move on, but you have to repeat that block. Mm-hmm. that you missed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Exit exams and comp exams. Do you guys have something like that at AUC?
Yes, okay. We do.
Okay, when does that come in? When do you guys have to take that?
Yeah, so comp is 4th semester. Yeah, 4th semester. And it's for, prepping for the step exam. They offer 4 comp exams. You're required to take the first one. After you pass though, you're not required to take the other 3, but you can if you want to, like as practice for STEP. So my professors have always advised take as many comp exams as you can, even if you do pass the first one. Just keep taking it just so you keep practicing and all of that.
Okay, so this comp exam, is that required for you to move on to like the next semester? So if, for example, you don't do well in your comp, would they allow you to move on to the next semester, or would they clear you for STEP? Or you can just take it just to see where you're at? Do you have any ideas about that?
Comp is definitely factored into passing the semester. And so I'm not sure, because I'm not there yet. I'm not sure exactly what happens if you don't pass.
Okay.
And like, well, I know you just don't pass that semester. I don't know how they allow you to make it up though. I'm not sure about that.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So the next one is, what do you like and what do you not like about AUC? So you can decide which one you want to tell us.
Okay, I'll start with what I like.
Okay.
I like the people that I've met, like the friends that I've made there. Really genuine people and helpful people. I found that it's not very overall, even outside of the friend group, I found that it's not as like dog eat dog type of environment. And I've actually heard professors say that, like, it's one of the more like community helpful environments as it pertains to like students interacting with one another and helping one another. People are actually very willing to help you and explain things and all of that. So I do like that.
Yeah.
And I like the staff too. The staff is very, for the most, like 98% of people are very willing to help and just very friendly. And I think that's also an island thing, because half of the staff is from St. Martin. So they're all very friendly. So I think that has to do with their island vibe and stuff. Like, they're really nice. What I don't like, I think it would just have to be pertaining to the guinea pig-esque kind of thing that's been happening with my semester. And that's very specific to my semester, because, you know, there's not going to be another first of us. Yeah. So we've just had to go through a lot of like giving them grace situations, which has sometimes been very frustrating and just annoying. But I mean, it had to be us, I guess. So it is what it is. Is there anything else I really don't like? I don't think, I will say, and this is a grievance I've had, I don't think there's enough study spaces that is not like a library, because I don't like libraries. They're cold and like dreary. There's no windows. Like, I don't like libraries. So outside of that, there's not many places to study on campus. So that has been annoying for me. And study with a group. Like, there's a big auditorium that people can study at, but you can't talk in there. So like, you can't study with the group. So that's pretty much all I would say.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So the next question is the final question. It's also sort of related to the one we just talked about now, but try to give me a different answer if you can. So if there was one thing you could change about AUC, what would that be? Okay,
I have one. Okay, so one thing I would change about AUC is how, I guess, the commonality between professors, if that makes sense. Like, for example, and I know this is a issue that I've personally had even before medical school, before my master's, even before in high school. Like, I was having these issues. Just some professors not doing as much to help students understand than others. I found that has been an issue for me here as well. And really, I think they all, because they're just so smart, you know, with smart people, they're explaining things, and I think they think you have their brain. And so like, it's just not clicking, and you're just looking like, and they just keep going.
Yeah.
There's been a few of those. And for me, I appreciate organized lecture slides. And there's just some professors that just don't have that. So if there was like some, I don't know, format that they all follow to like present information, that would be so helpful to me personally, because that's how I base my studying on, how, what to study, what's important, you know, stuff like that. So that's a calm one that I would say I would change.
Good. I like how you say that and brought it up. So I try to look forward to this part of the interview a lot, just to see what people say. It varies from person to person. So
yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I mean, I have other things, but I don't want to call nobody out.
Okay. For one, you give me one, and that's okay. Maybe I'll change it to 3 next time moving forward. But
not 3.
I just want to thank you again for taking time out of your day to spend answer these questions today. And so if for example someone has any more questions or want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, oma.lara on Instagram, and my YouTube channel, Oma Lara A.
So you have a YouTube channel. So what's your YouTube channel about? What kind of stuff do you put on there?
So I started it when I got to St. Martin. So it's really for my whole medical journey. So medical school, into clinical residency, all that stuff. Just following my journey, what I've been learning, tips and tricks, and then also just my life, island life, all the things. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Okay, I'm going to put all of that in the description and also on the video as well. And so thanks again for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure. I loved your energy. I loved your vibe. And I think the viewers are going to appreciate that as well too.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Thank you very much. And good luck with the rest of your studies moving forward.
Thank you. You too.